Hello, hello. Who do we have joining us for this special holiday celebration, the early New Year's Eve party from Shop with Diane and friends? I see Beverly has joined us. Hi, Bev. I hope you're doing well. Who else do we have joining us? There's a lot going on, isn't there, with the holidays, maybe some post Christmas gatherings. Just across the street at the Fort William Gardens, the Thunderwolves are playing tonight and tomorrow. I Wouldn't it be cool if somebody could hijack the big screen at the Fort William Gardens and just do a clip to the Shop with Diane show? I haven't figured out that technology. Hi, Linda. Linda is joining us as well and wishing folks a happy new year. And yes, it's what have we been doing? We have had snow and in an earlier snowfall, around I think about 10 days ago, my snowblower broke down. So I have been out shoveling snow just about every day. It's going to make for some good muscles and a good workout and rosy cheeks, and I can't complain. I also have had some help from neighbors who came up towards the end with a plow and a snowblower and try to get some of those snowbanks that I had built pushed back a little further. So much appreciated there. If you are just joining us and have never joined us before, you got to get caught up with, I think this is episode 132. So you can catch the replay. Oh, I see Helen is here. Hello, Helen, and Kathy, and my mom, Elsie, who, if you didn't watch last week's show, you need to go and check it out because my mom was our special guest, and she really enjoyed the opportunity, and many of you have told me how much you enjoyed having my mom on. So, but you just get me tonight, and I hope you're okay with that. I'm not going to do any real selling, just giving folks a moment or two to join into the live presentation. And if you've missed any of the shows or you got to step up for a bit, just remember that on the Take a Hike and Take Two Boutique Facebook page, you can check out in a video section past shows and watch those. You can go on a binge if you wish, but I'm also live streaming to the Shop with Diane YouTube channel. So, and we have Heather here as well. It's great when people introduce themselves as joining the show, and I've met a number of you in the store who it's a bit of a surprise to me that you are watching the show, but I respect the fact that not everyone is comfortable in just saying hello. But it's a lovely community, and Pamela is there as well, is here as well, for wonderful. Some of the regular crew, and Barb is here. Oh my gosh, what a lovely group. Bev, Linda, Helen, Kathy, Elsie, Heather, Pamela, Barb, and a number. Oh, and thank you. Get a little compliment on the necklace. It's from Brighton, and old, not old, well, from many years back, dear friend and roommate of mine, university roommate, Lori is joining us. So hello, Lori, and wishing all of you a happy new year coming up. So let's get the show officially started. So yes, welcome everyone. It's not quite New Year's Eve, but it's Thursday night, and it's my regular time slot for the Shop with Diane show. And I have on the eve and then almost eve of New Year's, this is my third time coming and pulling together a little bit of a celebration with my friends here and the lovely community of folks we've pulled together as part of the Shop with Diane show. I'm not here to sell products this evening, but you're welcome to place orders with me if you wish. But rather, it's an opportunity to reflect on the past year, as well as think of some goals and intentions for the new year. And it's my time of year I've done this for most of my life, where I get really thoughtful, go deep inside and sort of think, what is it that I experienced in the past year? What were the highlights? What were the challenges? What did I learn? What can I do, plan for in the coming months to maybe learn and to grow and to make life a little softer and easier and happy and rewarding. So I'm going to try to do that this evening as well. If you are watching the live presentation, please say hello. And I see, since did the earlier introduction, we have Tracy joining us, and Tammy and Mary, a lovely group of people. And so welcome. So my name, if you're just new to this, is Diane, and I'm owner of a store in Thunder Bay. The store I started over 26 years ago, and it originally was called Take a Hike, but I rebranded a few years back so that it's also known as Take Two Boutique, so we can focus more on the beautiful women's clothing that our store had to offer. Oh, I want to do something here, folks. This is a one-woman show. I sometimes forget what I'm supposed to be doing, but I thought with new technology, I can get a little background music going. It is a party, and I'm just gonna get something going here. Let's see. There we go. So yeah. So at the start of the pandemic, though, my store, which was primarily, as I said, rebranded to be selling women's clothing, got shut down, and I was forced to be creative and innovative and take a deep breath. And I, early in the pandemic, went to Facebook and did a live show. And that very first show, many of you have heard me say this before, 75 people joined me live, and a lovely, lovely group of people it turned out to be, encouraged me to keep doing this. And this is now episode 132. And people have told me it's educational, it's fun, it's entertaining. They've done some great shopping, learned about products, been able to thoughtfully sit back at home and enjoy the show. We've had people, though, take us in who have already gone on holidays and brought us along. I know Lori in Jamaica, and who else was here the other day? From Florida. We've had folks from Georgia, so across the border, across the region, across the city. I'm here in Thunder Bay, and where we have had an amazing amount of snow in the past month. As a matter of fact, I went back to look at some reports, and since November 29th, we have had almost 90 centimeters of snowfall. Can you believe it? 90 centimeters of snow. And I think that sort of describes 2022. We have had a lot of snowfall early in the year, and a lot of rainfall early in the year. Winter seemed to have gone on forever, and it's back again. So our in-between season has been pretty short, that being the warmer season. I think I got too many things on the go here. Let me just check. Okay, so but since November 29th, we have had almost 90 centimeters of snowfall, which is just about 3 feet. And didn't help that my snowblower broke down 2 feet ago. And had to go and do lots of snow shoveling, but that's okay. That's okay. It's a good physical outdoor workout, and I hope you are keeping up with things outdoors as well. So, as I said, it's a time for us to come together, and I'd sort of like to reflect on the past year a little bit. For many, I know it has been a struggle. We are, approaching in March what is officially known as 3-year mark of pandemic. And when you just thought that was tough enough, more and more layers of difficulty seem to present themselves. But there's also been some learning and growing and positive things that come up as a result. So I'd like you to interact with me as well and share with us perhaps some of those things that have made this a really good year. And I'm sorry, I'm just have a little technical glitch. Here we go. So I'm going to go back and let you know what my year was like. And in January, you might remember this if you've been watching our show since the beginning. Some of these highlights you'll be familiar with. Well, for the first couple of years of the pandemic, a magazine called In-Store Magazine, which goes to 12,000 Canadian retailers in the gift, home, and houseware industry, received this magazine. But I was a columnist, and the first column that appeared at the start of this year is a column I wrote, Finding Opportunities Among Crisis and Chaos. Well, I was sure right. There was a lot of crisis and chaos, wasn't there? But that was a really great learning opportunity for me, a real honor to be writing for this magazine, sharing my experiences and my thoughts, and perhaps trying to encourage people to hang in there as retailers or to pivot. One of the words in the pandemic that I came up with, and some of you have embraced, is pivoteur. It's the ability to keep changing as we face new challenges. And those of us that have had to do that, congratulations, because it takes a lot of perseverance, creativity, and so on. So January was about that. And January for me was getting a booster shot. So I wanted to make sure I got that, because January was actually, can you believe it, the very first time since the start of the pandemic, well, January 2020, that the Toronto gift and home market, which happens twice a year in Toronto. It's the largest trade show held in Toronto. It used to be held twice a year. It hadn't happened since January 2020. So I was actually prepping myself to go to that January show, but they pulled the plug. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was so disruptive. Got the shot, preparing myself, airfare booked, and at last minute, this huge show was canceled. So just one of the things that happened in January, but try to keep our spirits bright. You might remember we did a Shop with Diane show where the theme was pancakes and pineapples. Just I come up with these themes, don't I? What was February like? And February was, can you remember? Oh my goodness. Scotty's Tournament of Hearts. Scotty's Tournament of Hearts. And that was just held right across the street from me, where the year before it was supposed to be held, but began with the pandemic. It was canceled. And a smaller version of it was held this past February, where spectators, unfortunately, were not allowed to take in this amazing world-class curling. Well, I tried to keep in the spirit and keep people engaged, and personally did some videos, and one that got thousands of views. Oh my goodness. Of hearts. The snow had just fallen. I had a broom in hand and thought I could sweep, and so I did. But many of you are curlers or enjoy curling, and that was pretty exciting. Just the same, although it wasn't so much a spectator event, although the last final game where our local curling team did get to the finals, they did allow the volunteers to join in. So that was February. just think about all these pivots that people have had to make in the past year. Oh my goodness. Um, so it was also when I announced to the world that I was doing a store closing sale. And that was February 15th. We were going to start this. The objective being to completely get out of the clothing side of my business and focus more on live stream shopping shows and the occasional pop-up event. Well, that was a big surprise to everyone. Sandy Krasowski from the local media did a wonderful article about that pivot, and it got into the Toronto Star. Okay, so more than folks who follow my show or receive our newsletter or read the local paper knew of that plan. So, but you know what? It didn't unfold as I expected because of it seemed to have we were open 4 days a week, and it seemed like most for the beginning for several weeks it just snowed with snowstorms, so that kind of held some of you folks back. We were just getting out of a lockdown and some reluctance to come out shopping as well. But I had some really great help and really appreciate the gals who I was able to assemble together. Some past employees, some friends, and others who we pulled together a lovely team of gals who were here to help me get the store closing sale done. That was for the first 2 years of the pandemic, probably the biggest hurdle that I was facing was how in the heck do I get that inventory moving out the door? That is my retirement savings held up in inventory, and I needed to make sure that it was at least part of it coming back to me in some cash in sales. But that didn't go quite as planned. Oh my gosh. And so as we were trying to, our objective was to have this sort of shut down by mid-June. But as February turned into March, turned into April, into May, the gals here and I thought, you know what, we need to think this through a little bit more. And so the idea of we'll have to do the occasional pop in and shop event to try to keep this going, but not just be continually putting in dollars and times to have the store open when there wasn't the traffic into the store. So that was the start of our store closing sale. And anyways, so what was March like? Well, there was more snow in March. Surprise, there was a lot more snow. And I was building a huge snow pile in the back of our parking lot. Some of you might remember that. And so they say when you're given lemons, you turn it into lemonade. So I thought, well, why don't I have a snow pile melt contest? I wanted folks to guess when they thought that snow pile would finally disappear. And the prize was going to be a $50 garden gift certificate from my store because I was showing garden gifts on the Shop with Diane show. Plus I was going to do a $50 donation to the winner's charity of choice. So that was it. Well, can you believe it? It took until April, when was it? I wrote it down someplace. May. It was May 13th by the time the snow pile melted. May 13th. So it was announced in March that we would have this contest. It was May 13th that we had snow. So that's the way it was. Then what happened? Well, March turned into April. More snow. Oh, into my horror. Oh my gosh. I didn't expect this, but we had a lot of rainfall, still snow on the ground, still the ground frozen. And it was a big surprise to me when I went to the basement of my store and found 4 inches of standing water. Oh my gosh. I wasn't expecting that in the new addition in the basement. And you know what happens when you have cardboard boxes piled up and the bottom one gets wet? It doesn't sort of, the whole pile falls into the water. And oh my goodness, it was quite a mess. And you think that the insurance company is going to be there for you. And there was some confusion. And initially, it was told that there wasn't any insurance coverage. And that was tough. That was tough. But I, you know, soldiered on and began trying to, with a friend who came to my aid, tried to vacuum up the water and get out the cardboard and try to salvage as much as possible because, you know, there wasn't going to be any insurance. And just about did our best to get ahead of this. And what happened a week later? More rain. It flooded again. Oh my gosh. I don't think I at that point I felt defeated. Actually felt defeated, and but you know, it wasn't the ending I was expecting. That was an amazing day, the day of the second flood. My niece got married to the love of her life, a wedding that had been postponed because of the pandemic, but a beautiful event. Left it a little early to go to the basement to see water coming in again, and continued to be working at that um, for the next few days. And then finally, the insurance company said, "Oh, yeah, we can insure you." But by that time, had done a lot of the immediate work um, with the again help from a friend, but oh my gosh. And you might remember because I delayed, uh, postponed the Shop with Diane show. And, uh, but I wasn't alone in that flood. I'd learned that thousands of people apparently had insurance claims in as a result of that. And like you, have had to wait a long time to get the work completed. And it wasn't until um, about 6 weeks ago when work started to get done in my basement to get the drywall back up and get the painting done and get the contents back into the basement. But it made me empathetic in terms of in the news, there are so many people that have faced fires and floods and earthquakes and snowfalls and the damage that's been done because of climate change and the normal course of weather events. People have really had to be strong, be supportive of each other, and it is a setback. It takes a lot of energy to work our way through these. And I now personally have some experience in knowing what a challenge that can be. So if you're just joining us, and I know some people are joining us a little later, welcome to the pre-New Year's Eve celebration of Shop with Diane. I'm owner of the store, Take a Hike and Take Two Boutique here in Thunder Bay. Just reminiscing a little bit about the past year. Yeah, I don't want this story all to be about me. I want it to be part of your story as well. And um, New Year's is a time for me to go and be looking at the past, but also thinking about where it is that we're heading in the future. And oh, thank you, Monica. Uh, yeah, glad to hear that we're finally getting the damages repaired. It has been a long time, and I still don't feel like things are back in shape quite yet. And it's going to be the 2023 plan to get back into the basement and get it organized and try to get us back to where we were pre-flood. Oh, thank you, Carol, for wishing Happy New Year. And other greetings people are having. Look at this. Just a lot of hellos, and yes, please reach out to one another and wish one another a happy new year. I'm going to be all over the place this evening, and I hope you're okay with that. I'm not going to be doing selling of products, but instead just rambling. And one thing that came in my inbox of emails this week was an email from someone called the Purpose Fairy, and it was timely because what she had is 15 New Year's resolutions for greater peace and serenity. And if you were watching last week's show, we did a special Christmas show where our guest was my mom, Elsie. Then many of you tuned into that and really enjoyed it. And my mother's Christmas wish was for peace. And oh, there she is popping in. Hi, Mom. Wishing everyone a happy new year. And so with peace is a bit of a theme coming up. And who I'm going to show you these 15 through the show resolutions. It's from the Purpose Fairy, who is actually the most viral video post was by her 15 things you should stop doing for greater happiness that led to a book. But she's came out with this, and I think as we go through some of the challenges of the past year, her first suggested resolution is to be open and receptive to whatever life sends your way. Whether it's a flood, whether it's snowstorms during your store closing sale, just and I've heard from you who are part of our community. Many of you have dealt with greater challenges than what I have faced, and my heart goes out to you. So the other suggestion she has as a resolution is allow life to shape you and mold you in a majestic and graceful way. So that's what's happening. All these experiences are creating the people that we are becoming, and hopefully there's some majesty in there and in grace. And another suggestion she has is just surrender to what is. We can't do much about the COVID, the flu that's going around, other than take precautions and follow the health, the suggestions of health authorities. The floods happen, and it happened to me. Businesses come and go, and you have good days and bad days and good years and not so good years, and it just happens. So I'm going to, as we move forward, to try to accept that with greater peace and serenity with that. And here's another one that she has. Let go of fixed plans and concepts and allow events to follow their natural course. Just to remain flexible like that. Here's her fifth one. It is accept life unconditionally and trust that it's all happening for your highest good. Well, they say it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. So, without this pandemic, without me facing a situation at the start of the pandemic with monthly sales less than $2,000, and simply my municipal taxes for my business about $1,000 a month, I knew I was in trouble. And was that happening for me? Well, this show, which I think I've sort of found my niche, my passion, a lovely group of people, is came as a result of it. And here in the start, we do have at the 1695 a lovely tin sign that says, "Always believe something wonderful is about to happen." That kind of plays on something that I have embraced as a saying for the last number of years, which is trust the magic of new beginnings. So, and always believe that something wonderful is going to happen. So, where am I with my? I maybe need to learn to do this a little bit better next year. Embrace with grace all that you face. Embrace with grace all that you face. Um, yeah. I, on my personal Facebook page a number of years ago, when you're supposed to say something about yourself, I said, always learning, always growing, always grateful. So I'd like to be personally judged, and hopefully I'll judge others as we're work in progress. And if you conclude, maybe we had an incident 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that sort of put you off, or I was put off, let's hope that that experience from that we've learned and grown. And we're different people today. And, it might be a reason to come back together. And anyways, always learning, always growing, always grateful. How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? Just in the comments section, yes, please say Happy New Year if there's something that stands out in your mind as an event of the past year or a life philosophy that you've developed through the past while. Please share it with us. I think it's really helpful to be doing that. I'm going to get back a little bit to the months of, we're going through the months of the past year. So I think we got up to April. There were floods. Not once, but twice. Oh my gosh, had to, in the middle of a store closing sale. It's like, didn't anticipate that one, but had to temporarily close the store and deal with the immediate emergency. Hey, but May came around, and I was pretty impressed that we got to our 100th episode of Shop with Diane. That was quite a milestone, and to have reached that, and I was really proud of that. And as we said a little earlier, that big pile of snow finally melted on Friday, the 13th of May. I think it was a Friday. And who was our winner? It was Lorraine Darachuk. And as I said, she won a $50 garden gift certificate. And we also made a donation for $50 to the charity of her choice, which was the Faye Peterson Transition House. So thank you for all of you who put in a guess, and all your comments that you make in Facebook, and the likes, like if you put a heart that you love the show or you share it. Sharing is really important in comments. Facebook loves that, and we just, I think it was a week or so ago, Facebook gave us a pat on the back. I think we had 3,000 engagements in the previous 30 days, and an engagement would be a thumbs up, a heart, a comment, a share. They track that, and it helps the advancement of our posts, and we appreciate that. So keep up the good work, everyone. And if you haven't pressed share, please do that now. And comments, comments. You can even say, as someone did, Dan, I love your necklace. From our Brighton line of jewelry, and unfortunately I don't have any more, but thank you. So then June came around. Okay, so we had been open 4 days a week since mid-February, trying to get rid of all of our beautiful clothing. We put it on sale, hugely slashed prices, and discovered, well, at the middle of June, well, it's June 11th, we still have a lot of clothing. Okay, but I need to step back for a bit. And it was really urgent that we get into inventorying at that point the damaged inventory from the flood. And can you believe it? The insurance company actually had someone um, flown in from Southern Ontario because there's companies there that have more experience with damaged goods from businesses. And it's not that your flood, if your basement rec room got flooded, not that that wasn't a difficult situation, but what made this more complicated is there's two types of inventory down there. There are maybe furniture, fixtures that I have here for the store, and some supplies and financial records, and but also goods for resale. Insurance companies are not going to give me the retail price on the resale items. They're only going to give me the wholesale prices, and they're going to depreciate the value of the equipment and furnishing down there. And no, they needed for the store items. They would say, well, say it was the necklace. We need to take a photograph of it. We need to do a code, which is the store code. We need the retail price and the wholesale price. Next. And there's thousands of things down there. So can you imagine? I had not thought I'd get help, and the flood came, and I tear off the packaging of some items because it was cardboard, and I would put the sale price over there, and I dry out the item over here, and I had to be ready for somebody to be out of town where it all had to be together and organized. So I was ready to do the store closed in June. I was in that basement and pushing really hard to prep for this fellow who had come by. So that's what we did. Beautiful June days. So it turned out that I didn't get into my garden in my just outside the store, which had been my COVID project. Thank God. I think it what kept me sane in the first year of the pandemic is planting the garden. Well, it wasn't until June 18th that I got the garden in. And after the fellow had left and we had done that inventory, um, I was given the green light to be able to move some boxes that I'd taken outside to the back of the store and covered up since April. And I got the okay that I could dispose of some of that. And there were some things that I couldn't put outside but tried to contain in the basement. And it turned out they were moldy. Oh my gosh. You think I would know, but here's the warning to you folks. If you ever have to move moldy things, put your mask on, protect yourself. I did not, and developed a huge reaction to 19 boxes of moldy paper that I loaded up into my vehicle and drove out to Twin City Crossroads to Enviro Shred. And that took me down for several weeks, having been exposed to that mold. So I think it was possibly as well the stress of it all, my immune system because of that, the fatigue, the stress sort of wore me out, and then the mold got me. Anyways, I now am smarter for it, and so next came into, where are we? July. Okay, I had a month off of trying to deal with flooding around that time, just before that the company came to tear out the drywall finally and remove the final contact tents from my basement. And if you've noticed some of my improvements of my photographs and so on, I got a new smartphone. I love the smartphone. And before I get to the next month, let's get some more tips from the 15 New Year's resolutions for greater peace and serenity. So resolution number 7 being suggested is be soft, fluid and yielding, just like water is, and let your softness overcome all that is rigid and hard. So I'm going to try that, to be soft when it's maybe our first thought is to be hard, but I'm going to try that. Next resolution suggestion is trust your inner wisdom more than the wisdom of the world. And not that we know it all, not that we are all wise, but over the last number of years, it's kind of where I've been settling is the world was trying to tell me, at least I felt as a retailer, that that people didn't want to talk. People didn't want social interaction, and that the world wanted disposable. They didn't want quality, and it was okay to be rude. Well, me moving to this location where I now own my property, I've called it, some of you have heard, my clubhouse. And I said, you're all welcome to the club. And the clubhouse is for those that share my values. I'm tired of defending my values. It's what I believe to be true. There's a real importance to be connected socially with one another, and as well as quality is important, and it's really important to be kind. And if you don't have those values, there's other places you can go, but I'm not giving up on those values. So there's, with age, they say, comes wisdom. With mistakes comes wisdom. From learning from others comes wisdom, especially learning from older generations. So next thing what we have is, thank you, Monica, who they say what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. So August, well, July got another boost. I was ready for another booster shot, because I was going to get finally to the Toronto Gift Show. I said it happened twice a year. Typically, that January one was canceled again. Oh my gosh. But I got to go, and it was very, very different from what had previously happened pre-pandemic. The suppliers, a lot of them weren't there, or they weren't in one location. There had been a division in the industry, and some had been at the International Center and some at the Congress Center, and there was it was a real frustration and lack of communication. So you can sort of see the wheels falling off the bus when it came to that. And but I did get there. It was first time on a plane. I'm going to say I was fairly nervous about that. And I just looking at some of my notes, I did miss something that happened that was really significant. I'm going to skip that, but I'm just going to show. Yeah, let me just go back. It's not my regular show. Have you figured this out, folks? It's not the regular show, but it's sort of a review of the past year. And I'd encourage all of you to take some time over the next couple of days to think back on the past year, because we forget so much. Maybe write it down and think about, take some credit for the challenges you personally have faced as well. And hopefully we can reach out and help one another. What was September about? We did more pop-in and shop events, brought out the fall winter stock, and I tuned into Dragon's Den. Oh my gosh. I was starting to feel that I didn't know what direction I was going to take into the fall and lead up to Christmas. The path wasn't so clear. But I watched the Dragon's Den, and who did we meet? Or who did I see? Cocktail bombs. Cocktail bombs. Do you remember that? And I mentioned that at the end of September, I watched Dragon's Den, and 5 of the 6 dragons got excited when they met Kiana Gomez, who during this pandemic, a 22-year-old had done a couple of major pivots from being a full-time student with a part-time job in a bath and body place to that first year in 3 months selling $60,000 of hot chocolate bombs, going back into her kitchen and saying, now what else can I do? She came up with cocktail bombs. So what are these? You take some sparkling water. You were all wondering when I was going to pull this out. Take some sparkling water, and you take, these are handmade in Montreal. You pop it in the water, and it's going to fizz and dissolve. And this is going to be, this one? This is going to be a drink called blueberry, it's going to be blue raspberry. I'm just going to let this fizz and bubble. Oh my goodness. I was pretty excited when I saw that. I needed that product in our store, and all of a sudden my energy got, I got really excited. And what was it? Let me just show you. I thought this was going to be an amazing product, and we were going to launch it in our store mid-October. That was it. I just needed 2 weeks to get this together, and if I'm going to show you a quick little video we put together for music. Sweet, sweet music. Island life and the vibe is right. We're dancing in the street till the morning light. Sweet music. Sweet music. We move quickly. And then one of the things we wanted to do to get this launched in our store, we wanted to bring onto the show, you might remember, Kiana Gomez. Well, our first date to have her on, there's a bit of a conflict. Let me have you hear her.
Hi everyone, it's Kiana here from Cocktail Bomb Shop, and I am so sorry, but I was unfortunately double booked for tonight from a mistake from my boyfriend's part. But Diane is going to have an amazing show for you guys tonight with giveaways, and she's going to talk about lots of new products that she has that are made in Canada, including our cocktail bombs. But I will definitely tune in with you guys on November 10th for the whole show, where you guys can ask me any questions or any comments that you have. And I am so excited to see you guys all then.
Do you remember her joining us then? Oh my goodness. She was such a delight to have on our show. And many of you have told me how much you enjoyed her. Many of you purchased cocktail bombs as Christmas gifts. Any feedback from them? Some of you have been trying them ahead of Christmas. It turned out to be, since mid-October, 2022 top selling product in our store were cocktail bombs. So how's it worked out? You've had them for a week, maybe, almost. People receive them as gifts. Any feedback? I'm going to put this up right now. I'm going to put up, we are going to be open. Let me just show you this. So we're doing tonight's pop in and shop, and Saturday, a woman knocked on the door and she said, I'm in from Ottawa. I come to your store all the time, and I'm in town until Monday. Any chance I can come in shopping? I said, come in on Saturday 11. And since I'm going to be open for her, I'm going to make a pop in and shop. You're all welcome to come in Saturday 11 to 1 and do some shopping. We'll be back with Shop with Diane next Thursday. And I thought I could squeeze out a Friday and a Saturday, a few hours each of those days for you to come in and pop in and shop as well. And I'm thinking, you can see the blue and the yellow. I'm thinking on those days, it being Ukrainian Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, that I believe 10% of net profits are going to go once again to support people who are being so impacted from the war in Ukraine. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's just one of the horrors of the past year that is impacting so many people's lives in the world. And we're going to try to do our best. So circle the date on Friday, January 6th and Saturday, January 7th. Come in, we'll be open a few hours both those days, and I will donate 10% of our store, our net profits. Won't be much profits. It's going to be on sales. And let me see, we got some comments about the cocktail bombs. Any others? Cocktail bombs are a hit from Santa. Wonderful. And they're awesome. They didn't make it for Christmas gifts, though. uh, had a few girls over and they disappeared. Wonderful. Any other comments about them? Because on those days that Saturday, from 11 to 1, you can come by and pick some more up, maybe for your um, New Year's celebrations. So let me see. So where are we in the show? Let's keep going. So we had launched a new product, cocktail bombs, and then we got the announcement that thermo hair socks, those wonderful, luxurious, durable, warm, made in Canada, um, kid goat hair socks weren't going to be made in the same um, um, makeup as they were for the last 30 years because the price of kid mohair during this pandemic escalated from $26 a kilo to 90. And Teresa, who also joined our show in uh, uh, told us that she had bought 2 years of at the start of the pandemic of mohair, anticipating the price increase. And what happened is um, she's running out of that. So next year she has to either charge $80, $90 a pair of socks, which nobody's going to spend $80, $90 for a pair of socks, or not many people would. So she's going to change the formula and introduce it equal parts um, merino wool with the kid goat hair. What did that do? That got us motivated again. And our number two selling product then for the year it quickly became again the kid mohair goat hair socks. And Pamela, who just learned about these recently, has tried a pair, ordered a second pair, and they are the warmest socks she's ever owned. And they are amazing. I still have some inventory left, and because I did a second order. And if you've tried them and loved them, come on and get them while I have them. I dipped into my own personal little stash to give somebody a pair that they wanted in my preferred style. And I'm hopeful, but not certain, that maybe I'll be able to get a small order placed with them again. So, how did the thermo hair socks? Have you worn them? Do you love them? It's going to help. It's part of my. There's comfort food. I have comfort socks, and those are the goat hair thermo hair socks. And that was in October, where we just got. We really got things happening. What happened in November? Oh my goodness, I got crazy. I got so motivated, and thank you for all of you who. I really did enjoy the latter part of the year, and so could you remember when I said, okay, what can I do for Black Friday? I'm going to go and do a 2-hour Shop with Diane shopping marathon. Well, I went for 2.5 hours, and you gals, oh my goodness, you hung in there for most of you for the entire show. I had orders like I hadn't had orders for the longest time. And you were in the Friday, the Saturday to pick them up. It was so much fun. And I learned that I could talk not just for an hour and a half, 2.5 hours, but I'm not sure standing in the same place for 2.5 hours is a good thing. And thank you, Mary, for your comments. She really loves her thermo hair socks. And yeah, please share those comments, people, and we're still happy to help you out on those days that I indicated. Not going to be open very much in January, and I'll let you know about that in a moment. Um, but in November, we did the 2.5 hour Black Friday marathon. We had guests on to the Shop with Diane show, both the owner of Cocktail Bomb Shop and Thermo Hair. On November 11th, I did go across the street to the Fort William Gardens, and it turned out that I was in a perfect seat to do a video, and I recorded the entire Remembrance Day ceremony, and a number of people enjoyed watching that. And then we got more snow. Oh my goodness! But still trying to be part of the broader community. We're also able to make a donation of 50 pairs of socks to the underground gym that's doing incredible work for young people in our community, and they really embrace the concept of community. Um, so December, that rolled into December. We're still in December. I went to the 2 hour, half-hour marathon. Oh my gosh. So then I threw in the top 25 product show. Remember that? And the top three all being Canadian products. The goat hair, the cocktail bombs, the thermal hair socks, and the Warm Buddy products. Those milled rice warming blankets that you put into the microwave, or the shoulder wraps. Those were big hits. And that's a show that you might want to go back at any time and take a look at, because that's a great shopping list, a list of great ideas. And you can catch that on our Take a Hike and Take Two Boutique Facebook page, or the Shop with Diane YouTube channel. So what are some of the other pieces of advice? Those 15 resolutions. Well, thank you, Lori, who picked up the gloves that are fleece lined for $12.95, and a fleece lined toque, $21.95. Great gifts. Thank you for that feedback. So the other advice to have a more peaceful and serene 2023. Um, um, treasure the moment. Don't let it pass you by unnoticed. And I've been really trying to do that over the last number of years. Let me see. Past number of years um, is just to take the moment. And, I really got into part of embracing the moment. Let me show you this. I really got, I love to grow, this past summer I grew sunflowers, and then I really really saw the bees that were attracted to it, and especially later in the season. How's my cocktail bomb coming? It's dissolved, and I'm going to put some ice in it. I think there's a question here from Lorraine in Atikokan. Yes, I can mail out orders, Lorraine, no problem, but I do ask that they be orders of $50 or more, since I do have to go make some time to get to the post office and box those up. So yeah, reach out to me and I'll try to give you a hand. And I'm just putting a little garnish into my cocktail here. A little bit of ice, and enjoy the blue raspberry cocktail. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And let's see. So what do we have coming up next is my internet is waning, but I'm going to keep going. Hopefully it doesn't shut someone out. Number 10 resolution is be good cheer. There's always another way. Yes. Another recommendation, where there's no love, pour love, and you will find love. So sometimes the person that is struggling the most, maybe one of the hardest people to embrace, is probably the person that is in greatest need of us showing some compassion and love. Um, and another one is give thanks for all things, good and bad. And with the passing of time, there's a suggestion that um, with the passing of time, things can be better. Don't turn bitter. And yeah, remember that's the good and the bad is making us who we are today. And 13 is speak with love, speak from the heart, and speak in a way that people love to listen to you. It's another one of the resolutions to be made for peace and serenity. 14, work with love. Whatever you do in life, work at it with all your heart. Work at it with love, passion, and dedication. And 15 is seek to become all that life created you to become. Those are pretty big, lofty goals, aren't they? Um, so where am I going in? Where am I going tonight's show? Where am I going next year? I'm going to tell you that, and there's such uncertainty in life, in what's happening in the world, and if we take some of the recommended resolutions, like treasure the moment, work with love, speak from the heart, accept things, let things go, allow life to shape you and mold you into the majestic and graceful person you're meant to be open, receptive, and so on. I don't really know where life is taking me. I really don't know where this business is heading, and I'm not alone in that. But I think in January, at least, I'm going to try to reach out that far. I'm going to do a couple of pop-in and shop events for the first couple of weeks in January, but then pause. And our fiscal year end is January 31st, so we're going to need to do an inventory of stock that's here at the store. I am on the last few days of January going to try to get myself to that Toronto gift and home market, see where the industry is, and see that I'm going to explore a pop-up at Intercity Shopping Center for February. If I can't get people to come into my store and pop in and shop for the beautiful clothing that I so need to be passed by already. I'm done. I need to be done so that a new chapter of my business and my life can begin. Then I need to do something, but I can't do it alone. So I'm exploring the idea of possibly renting out a space for a month at the Intercity Shopping Center and have a moving company move the items there and recruit a number of you gals, if you would be so kind. I need to hear from you sooner than later because I wouldn't make this commitment unless I knew that I had the help. And you don't have to be great salespeople, just social people, because we are going to discount our clothing, is my thought, at that location. But the hours, Intercity Shopping Center is going to go back to its pre-pandemic hours. They're going to be long hours. So not that I expect anybody to do those long days, but I'll need a lot of people for 7 days a week for the month, possibly of February. Details to be worked out. Going to do some costing, going to see if there's resources of some help. I know a couple of you who are watching the show this evening have already indicated to me that you would be open to help out, actually enthusiastic about helping out, but I do need more help. And at the mall, they're not sure what spaces are still going to be available for a short-term basis like that. They will know in the next week. We'll need to figure out whether it's doable and make some things happen really quickly. I don't have any other ideas other than you bringing all your friends and coming shopping and clearing me out, but I don't really know how to get that done either. So I am going to ask for you to reach back to me and let me know. Um, what we built is a beautiful community of people. I know that I've already offered to a number of you to join me on our porch when the weather gets good, and we're going to have some cocktails. I know where we can get cocktails. Just step inside and we'll get the cocktails. Um, just so we continue to have that beautiful gathering of people who are sharing in the values of equality and appreciate the social connection and the kindness as well. So, thank you, Bev, who is stepping up and going to we're going to chat about how to make this happen. I think Heather's out there, and Glenda might be part of it, and who else knows who would like to help out. But please reach to me. I'm going to put Irish saying here. It's Happy New Year. May you keep happy and healthy, and may your dreams all come true, and may the best of the old year be the worst of the new. Um, and so, listen, folks, I appreciate us coming together on this Thursday evening time slot. It's not my regular Shop with Diane show, as you figured it out. And it's got a really kind of different theme than the last 2 years, where we were earlier into the pandemic. The world was changing in huge ways. And I'm trying to read the tea leaves, and it's getting a little more difficult. But every time I come to meet with you on a Thursday evening, I get energized, and I hope that I can pass back some of that energy to you. Oh my goodness. Look at any other helpers out there, 7 days a week, morning, afternoon, and evening help would be, it's going to be fun. And as I said to people, I know that as a community, if it was a big health concern, you'd be there for me. Well, this is the big health concern with the business financially. But I do have a ticket for the 50-50 draw. And if they pull my name and get the $2 million plus, that problem disappears for me. I will be generous with the community, and we will see that problem disappear, and we will throw the biggest parties. So let me just say, I'm going to put one more time up when you can come into the store in the next little while. Saturday, pop in. I'll be open for a couple hours then. My parking lot is clear, did a lot of snow shoveling. Or next Friday, Saturday, where I mentioned that 10% of our net profits will go to support humanitarian, providing humanitarian assistance to the people in Ukraine. And let me just see, I am going to get back here. And what am I doing? Remove this and wish you, I'm going to put a little music to get out the door, and wish you, first of all, thank you for being an important part, the most important part of my past year here in my business life, but also my personal life. I'm so grateful for the health of my family, and you as my friends, and we all have so much to be grateful for, don't we? And we need to stay strong and be there for one another, and be there for the broader community in 2023. So let me just sign off this way, because Auld Lang Syne. Enjoy, folks. Thank you for joining me and the group this evening. Cheers. I see some of you have hung in here to the very end. I've put a little extra into the cocktail, and I'm going to sit down and enjoy it. And I hope you do as well. Happy New Year, everyone. And we'll see you next Thursday, I hope. Good night.